Hi, this is Mike from BandLab, and in this video, we're going to look at how to mix for clarity in BandLab. You can open this project yourself with the link in the video description. And if you find this guide useful, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to be the first to know when new videos drop. In most types of popular music, producers aim to have a mix that sounds clean, lyrics that can be made out easily, beats with clear dynamics, and a balance that allows melodies and harmonies to stand out. Let's create a project with just such a mix, using BandLab's built-in effects to get the kind of clean, polished sound that'll take your tracks to the next level. I'm going to start by opening BandLab Sounds, because I want this project to have a vocal. I type vocal into the text search field, then click View All in the Packs section to see all of the available packs. I open the Songwriter's Toolkit pack and set the instrument filter to voice so that I see just the included vocal samples. I like the sound of CIV 127 G minor Felix Vox FX09 8-bar, so I drag it into the project. BandLab asks if I want to set the project key to that of the sample. I do, so I select Set. As I haven't already set a project tempo, BandLab will also set the project tempo to that of the sample. I set the volume of the track to -6 dB to give me more headroom to add other elements to the mix. I'd like to add some other elements to this pack, so I changed the instrument filter from voice to keyboard. CIV 127 G minor chords X5 4-bar sounds good, so I drag it into the project. This 4-bar sample isn't as long as the 8-bar vocal, so I use the loop handle at the top right-hand corner of the clip to loop it out for the rest of the 8 bars. Again, I set its volume to -6 dB. Next, I'd like some drums, so I set the instrument filter to beats. CIV 127 La La Beat 6 4-bar has the feel I want, so I drag that into the project, loop it out, and set its level. I'd like a piano part to accompany these elements, so I add a virtual instrument track, leaving it set to the default grand piano instrument. I set its volume to -6 dB. I compose a chord sequence that plays G minor, F major, C minor in the second inversion, and a C minor 7 in the second inversion, omitting the tonic. I loop this clip out for the rest of the 8-bar sequence. Next, I add a bass line. I create a new instrument track and set it to Synth Basses, Fancy Bass. I set its volume level to -6 dB. This part follows the rhythm of the piano chords and plays G, F, C, and B flat. I loop this out. I'd also like some strings in the mix. I create an instrument track and set it to Strings, String Orchestra Stack. I turn down its level to -6 dB. I duplicate the MIDI clip over from the piano track. To duplicate notes or clips in BandLab, hold Option on Mac or Alt on Windows and drag them over. I'm happy with this music, but I'd like a bigger beat, so I decided to add a house loop. In BandLab's Sounds, I click the Packs tab and search for house. I open the Classic House pack and set the instrument filter to drum. I drag Brick House Beat into the project, loop it out, and set it to -6 dB. Now I have all the elements I want, but I'm not happy with the mix. It's hard to make out the vocal, the strings overwhelm the other elements, and the beats don't punch through enough. I need to work on this mix. My first priority is to make the vocal clearer. I can make the vocal's overall volume louder by adding a compressor effect. I open the effects panel and add a Dynamics BL1176 compressor. I set the ratio to 4:1 to reduce the compression effect. Next, I add a tone graphic EQ. I can use this to bring out the particular frequencies I want to pop in the mix. I set the 1.6 kHz band to +4.4 dB, and the 3.2 kHz band to 3.8 dB. This brings out the high parts of the vocal, which makes it sound brighter and makes it more intelligible. This track is a little too loud now, so I turn the volume level down to -9.7 dB. Next, I want to make the house beats louder. I set their volume level to -2.1 dB. I'd like to thin the strings out so that they're not so prominent. I add a tone EQ3M, which I can use to make broad adjustments to the signal's tone. I set the low to -12.9 dB, and the mid to -13.5 dB. Reducing the mids and lows in this manner give the lows of the beats and bass more room to be heard. The bass needs beefing up next. I add an EQ3M, turning the low to +5.9 dB. I also turn down the mid to -9.7 dB and the high to -5.7 dB. This makes the low end sound more full, while pulling back the mids and highs. I also turn its volume up to -1.9 dB. Next, I'm going to adjust the tone of the piano. I add a graphic EQ. I set the 100 Hz band to -6.8 dB, the 200 Hz band to -3 dB, the 800 Hz band to -3 dB, the 1.6 kHz band to +1.4 dB, and the 3.2 kHz band to +2.1 dB. This shifts the balance of the piano away from the lows and into the highs, helping it sound brighter and taking some of the weight out of it. On the Synth Chords track, I add an EQ 3M, setting the low to -7.4 dB, the mid to -7.6 dB, and the high to -4.8 dB. I'm making all the bands quieter, so the synth is going to be less loud, though the highs are reduced a little less than the other bands, so it'll sound relatively bright. I think that mix sounds much better. Let's compare it to the mix we had before, with no effects in each track at -6 dB. You can fork this project and make your own version of it using the link in the video description. Have fun!